Hello there, Aquarius, sun, moon, rising sign people. I am one of you, and we are having an interesting month of September 2022, where you're going to find some good financial things showing up in your sky, some of it surprising and unexpected, but very positive. Plus, unfortunately, that gnarly tension between the Lord of our sign, Saturn, and Uranus in the sky for the fourth performance of this longer, gnarly transit that started in 21, where we're looking for freedom and a change of a home and route. Well, we also have to be obligated and dutiful. I'll give you more details about that shortly. But before I do, if you're new to my channel, I'm Lori Lothian. I am a Hellenistic whole sign house astrologer using the tropical Western zodiac, not the sidereal Indian zodiac of Vedic astrology. And I also love asteroids, stars, and I play around with a little bit of a Babylonian theme as well. And if you've always wanted to learn how to read your natal chart, how to read your friends' charts, and how to time your own best life, take my Sky Reader course that starts in October. I've done it before. This is my second iteration. I love teaching this class. It's 8 weeks long. It's going to be a small group environment, lots of one-on-one stuff with me, live classes, lots of coaching calls, and lots of feedback from me about how you're doing. So that class starts in October. And if you want to get on the wait list, you'll need to do that in order to get into the class, basically, because it will fill. I have a cap on how many students I'm taking. And right now I have 35 people already on the wait list. And that will give you access to the early bird pricing. Plus you'll get into the class. So check the link below in the Learn From Me section of my description box. All right. So let's get going. Aquarius says us. So first of all, you didn't remind me of something about you, all of us. Can I just say something about us Aquarians? Okay. Back in December of 2020, Saturn and Uranus co-joined at 0 degrees of Aquarius. And basically it says simply this: every Aquarius has been conscripted by the universe to be a lead goose for humanity. Not that we're full of it, but hey, we're full of it. And that's what's happening. We are kind of the cutting edge, the great conjunction of kings happening. And we, the people, cutting edge, humanitarian, Aquarian energy, eclectic, inventive, and eccentric to us, we are definitely on, we're on stage. We're called to do something in this life in the next 20 years. So keep this in mind, because I'm going to bring in right away some of the gnarly stuff before I tell you about the goodies financially. OMG, a beautiful hummingbird is outside my window right now. I'm just looking at it. It hovered in stillness in front of me just as I finished this for saying this for us Aquarians as a lead goose for humanity. And we need to have some joy in life. Saturn is the Lord of us, and he's been moving through the sign of us for a long time. He tiptoed in like, I think it was like April, May of 2020. Then he sideways back out. Then he came back in December of 20 and has been there since. So what happens when we have Saturn, the Lord of our sign, in the first house of us, or crossing our sun and moon? Well, we tend to feel responsible, dutiful, diligent, sober-minded, adulting. We're adulting up. We're becoming realistic about our life. We're doing what we need to do to create a solid foundation in our body, health, and sense of identity. Okay, so it's a lot of intense energy that we've been dealing with. And last year, February, I apologize for those noises, February, in June and December, Lord Saturn in the house of us squared Uranus in the fourth house of real estate. Now, come on, Aquarians. Back in 2018, Uranus tiptoed into our fourth house, whole sign house, and then he tiptoed and went right back in again after he was there May to October of 18, and then he came back again in 2019 March and has been there since. It's called the nomad transit. I mean, I ended up having my real estate life turned over when my landlord decided to sell the house I was renting back in 2018. She had it on the market. It didn't sell in 2019. She finally sold it, and I moved across the country, and I moved to Montreal and all of that. And then I moved back from Montreal to Vancouver again last summer. Talk about being a nomad, right? What's trying to happen is that some of us are trying to settle into a new route, find a new home, settle into a new sense of being within ourselves. This is all so that we can flourish into a career, our Scorpio 10th sign, whole sign house, that really serves us. And now we've got the North Node, January of 21 to July of 23, and so January 22 to July 23, moving through our fourth house, pressuring this to make a final destiny play. So a lot of Aquarians are going to settle down by the middle of next summer, by the latest, the fall of next year, into a new home that will be likely a longer term place. Okay. And a longer term rooting and new identity as well. If it's not a literal home, a new home in ourselves, that then a tree of our career can flourish from a new sense of self. all right, in the roots of our being. All righty. I'm bringing this up because this is happening for the fourth pass that Saturn and Uranus are squaring each other. So what that has been over the last couple of year and a half has been frustration between obligation, responsibility, duty, realism, and a sense of wanting to break free and have some freedom. I almost moved to Portugal. I mean, I was going to leave my homeland even. I was like, I'm getting out of Canada, I'm moving to Portugal. So September 15th to the end of the month and into October, Saturn is going to square Uranus again. This is a retrograde Saturn, a retrograde Uranus moving towards each other to square around 18, 19 degrees of Taurus, our fourth house, and Saturn, our first house. So get ready to feel this gritty, grindy feeling September 15th onward into October, where we feel this frustration and we feel that we have to buckle down, be super serious, super sober minded, super realistic, but we want to experience some kind of breakthrough regarding where we live. Now, that aside, some really good money stuff is happening for us. Yay! Let's talk about it, okay? Now let's go with the money story first. And I'm not going to do a chronological order for us. I want to go right into the money stuff. So Venus, okay, so just so you know, September 5th to the 11th, totally relax, man. There's hardly any transits. There's zero transits except for what the moon does in the sky. So it's really calm waters. So it's kind of like a chilling time, a real relaxing time. And just so you know, it starts off with a nice, sweet beginning for September 1st and 2nd. Mars will be in a sextile to Jupiter. Jupiter is in the house of Aries, where he is retrograding the sign of Aries. But in our houses, our whole sign houses, it's our third house of trips and travel, short distance journeys, skills-based learning or teaching, online world, siblings, aunts, uncles, and cousins. Okay. So he's there at the end of August, last 2 days, right? My sister's visiting me. That makes sense. She traveled to visit me, and the first 2 days of September, and he's going to sextile into a relationship of flow and harmony and ease with Mars in the house of joy, play, pleasure, financial gain through lotteries. My sister and I are holding the hand and playing the lottery together. Pennies from heaven, windfalls from lotteries and speculative investments, and just fun, right? So there's a bit of fun vibe going on. Last 2 days of August, first 2 days of September, with maybe a bit of money luck thrown in if you're working the money luck with a neighborhood, raffle, or with a sibling or something like that. And there's a small bit of tension between Mercury and Jupiter happening around, the third and fourth. This could be tension from an elder sibling, tension or communications from a friend that is difficult and feels gnarly and kind of rains a bit on your parade of the rest of the good stuff I just mentioned. But it passes very quickly. All righty. Well, it could also be a lottery ticket, because Mars opposite Mercury in the house of pennies from heaven into a wedge with Jupiter in our third could be a lottery ticket from the local neighborhood pub. I don't know. But anyway, let's move forward and talk about the money. Honey, Venus will move into our 8th house on September 5th to the 29th. Yes, she does it every year, but she's making some really luscious aspects this time around. So we'll get to that. In general, when she comes into our 8th money house, it's often about us parsing up our things to do, tidying up and bonifying and doing the details we need to do around taxes, investments, investment holdings, mortgages and loans, spousal money, inheritance monies, and stuff like that. So this is a story that happens regularly every year. And so she's back in that part of our sky. So that's not a particularly big deal, but keep it in mind, okay? And I want you to also remember that the sun until the 23rd of September is moving through our 8th house. So we're shining light into our shared money, resources, taxes. I just got my tax notice to pay half my taxes. Oh my God, it's so much money. And I need to pay that. So that just came in, and Venus will get there September 5th to the 29th. And I can't wait that long. I have to pay it by September 1st, but I'll be focused on tax stuff. But here's the thing. There's going to be some lusciousness that she's going to provide while she's doing her movement through our 8th house. So let's talk about this in detail. She will particularly make a positive, loving, opportunistic, and lucky energy thing called a trine, 120-degree gaze at Uranus in our 4th house of home and real estate. Now, she does this, yes, maybe every year she'll make a trine to Uranus. This is also more important because this was the big boom of July 31st, August 1st and 2nd, where Mars, Uranus, and the North Node at 18 degrees collided in our 4th house of home and real estate. And now for the first time since that's happened, Venus, she'll be at 17 degrees of our 8th house of shared money and resources. And she'll be looking over at Uranus in a flowing trine. When? Drum roll, the 19th and 20th of September. This is an unexpected, surprising development regarding money and home. It's the best way I can put it. It could also be legacy wealth. It could be, yes, an inheritance announcement is coming your way. But it's also just really positive around like home and money. So a new lease, a cheaper rental, a mortgage is secured, the house you want to sell is purchased, that's you want to buy, you make the deal and it goes through, but it's got some surprise to it, right? That's the thing, Uranus is there. So, but it's positive. So there we go. And that spot part of the sky that Venus is loving up on the 19th and 20th of September gets a prequel heat, a little hot ember going when the sun trines Uranus on September 11th and 12th. Okay. So perhaps developments on the 11th and 12th of September will flow in a connection to a later energy that we're experiencing of positive money and home stuff on the 12th, on the 20th and 19th and 20th of the month. Okay, now let's go back to a little more chronology, shall we? On the 10th of September, all right, there's a full moon in our money house. Now, this is a seed we planted in March of 2022, March 2nd, add 2 weeks, around money and money stuff. And now it's coming to fullness and fruition, Like, so I started teaching my Sky Reader course back then, and I'm going to do it again this fall. So this is not so surprising. So September 10th, add 2 weeks, fullness in our second house of earnings and wages. So this could be a very lush period of money flow. It can also represent a completion of a path of earnings that we've been investigating and doing. And it is also conjunct Neptune. Now, Neptune can be our dreams and our goals and our visions for our money story. And a full moon is bringing us fuller dreams or clarity of vision. So there's this Neptunian vibe, sort of a magical vibe as well. Mars will be squaring this lunation, and that's going to a little more tension from our fifth house of play, fun, joy, play, pleasure, romance, children. This can mean that even though we're lushing out a big money thing in the fifth house, fullness, one of our children needs money from us, and it's like and Mars is carrying the sword of Archangel Michael because it's fixed star Aldebaran. So money tensions coming from the house of children, the house of a lover, the house of luxury expenses, the house of creativity and fun. Maybe we're gonna accidentally spend too much money on a fun thing. Anyway, but that's just a little temporary glitch there. It doesn't continue, right? And the 2 weeks that follow the moon, you may find that these themes prevail that I just mentioned. All right, September 10th, add 2 weeks. In chronological order, Mercury will station retrograde on September 10th, and he will do that in 0 degrees of Libra. This is our 9th house of foreign lands, legal affairs, court cases, visas. This is a place of our book publishing world. This is the place of things to do with higher education. Now, all of these places can have revelatory insights and downloads, as well as great synchronicity as Mercury goes into the heart of the sun. Oh, Mercury stations retrograde. Sorry, I was going to the Kazemi. Did I say that? Okay, Mercury stations retrograde at 8 degrees Libra in the 9th house. All the things I described to you, and I'll be there retrograding until September 23rd. Okay. Because that's how long he retrogrades within that sign before sliding backwards into our 8th house. So let's go back to this. I will jump to the Kazemi. So September 10th, he's retrograding in our 9th house. So we may plan a trip to a foreign land, to a place we've been before. Mercury is the patron protector of travelers. Most people don't know that, but he is. And so I would like to go to Mexico, and I will probably plan my trip during this period because I've been to Mexico many times before. And he will also help us go back over old legal agreements, visas, and passport stuff if we need to, and get things secured. And he will help us go back over old academic things or book publishing agreements and get those things all tidied up as well until the 23rd. And then he goes from the 23rd onward to the end of the month. He'll be moving retrograde until October 2nd in our money house. That same place where Venus is: taxes, loans, bank investment monies, shared resources with your partner, inheritances. Now, for a lot of you, there is some kind of inheritance vibe going here. With that Mercury retrograde in the station October 2nd, direct, there's almost like an expected money from another person that you're going back to claim. It could also be that you thought that there was going to be an inheritance coming, and now there is. I don't know. But if it's not inheritances, for some of us it will be, then it's going to be something like a tax rebate, like literally Mercury's retrograding to take back something and you paid too much money. or some positive developments in your financial investment portfolios, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that's going to be happening, as I said. Like, I have some ETH, I invested in some ETH a long time ago. Maybe I'll get some really good news about my Ethereum. So that is going to be happening in the window I told you about. I have to cash that out, actually, in the way I did it next December. So maybe I'll realize it's worth cashing out. So I staked some stuff to do with ETH. So anyway, so where was I? So yeah. And around October 2nd, money goodness has been percolating because Venus has been stimulating, right, that part of our sky until the 29th of September. And then on October 2nd, Mercury stations forward in our 8th house of money and joint monies. So this is what I'm trying to say in the beginning. It's really good money stuff for us Aquarius risings. Alrighty. I'm going to talk now about Venus in a square to Mars on September 16th and 17th, where we may feel some tension between Mars, who's moving in Aries, in Gemini. He'll be there in our romance and fun, play and pleasure, independent business enterprise house, right? August 20th. Until next March. So this is good for ambition, drive, focus, movement forward, new directions in love, new directions in with your children, denesting your children, but that's a longer narrative. So on the 16th and 17th, there's a little bit of squishy tension there. Okay, so Venus in your 8th house of joint monies and Mars in your 5th house. Again, some of you are maybe dealing with children and issues with their money, or conflict with your lover and their money and your money. And there's that tension. It can also be secret love affairs, right? Just FYI, that are percolating 16th and 17th for you. And at the same time, you're going to have the sun in your 8th house of other people's money opposite Neptune in the house of your earnings. So there's just this tension around the money story, small glitch 16th and 17th of the month. And then Mercury will be in the heart of the sun at 0 Libra. There's no doubt about it. This is important if you want to travel to foreign land, visit a foreign land, get an academic degree, apply for a course, get a book published. So 0 degrees is the world axis. It's going to be intense for the world. And for us Aquarians, the good news is it's trining our first house, trining our identity. So the Mercury in the heart of the sun, the house of God, we're going to have a spiritual revelation, a deep download about our purpose in life, the meaning of our life, our true path, our dharma. This is happening on the 23rd of September. I encourage you to harness it with a daydream believer moment, a journaling, a vision boarding kind of thing. Pay attention to your dreams. The 9th is a house of dreams as well. There is a square to Cupido and Capricorn. It's simply asking us to go really deep, to archetypally go under the surface to find our deepest joy, passion, what like lights us up, what turns us on at a deep level. And Jupiter across the way during the Cazimi in the 3rd house. Again, it could be opportunities developing around trips and travel, around something to do with siblings, insights about what you want to offer online or what you want to teach the world, 3rd house themes. Venus, moving forward, Venus will combine forces in a conjunction with Mercury while trining Pluto. Did I mention this already? I don't think so. On September 26th, this can be about generating money from PayPal Stripe accounts that bust right out. Great power and wealth through foreign lands and trade from foreign lands or trips to foreign lands. September 26th, Mercury, the god of marketing and merchandising, Venus, the goddess of money in your 8th house. News, information, communications regarding inheritance monies, bank monies, tax rebates, credit card debts and stuff, positive power and resolution, Pluto, around those themes at the end of September, September 26th especially. And we end strong. Everyone does. Mars trines Saturn. Yay! Determination, focus, drive, marathon energy, get things done, make executive choices, a masterful, powerful movement forward. Mars in the house of money, luck, speculation, romance, children, independent business, entrepreneurial stuff in a trine to Saturn in the house of our identity. We are powering up momentum in our 5th house. If you're an entrepreneur like me, we're looking forward to like September 23rd to the end of the month to harness this Mars trine Saturn energy, which gets really intense after the 26th of the month. Thank you, Aquariuses, for listening to this recording. Now, if you want to heal yourself, my sister healed me. OMG, she's a Reiki healer. I had 2 really intense healings with her at a distance. I couldn't walk. My right glute was really in pain, and my SI joint was out of alignment. It was piriformis SI joint pain. Came on in the middle of June. I saw 2 physios who crippled me and made it worse, physiotherapists, OMG. Then I finally reached out to my sister to do distance healing. I walked again and now I can sleep again. I have no pain at all. And it was rapid. It was really fast. It was really transformative. If you want to get some kind of healing, spiritual, emotional, physical, even she held a business healing reading for a friend of ours. We're going to get a quote from him, and his whole life just turned around. This guy was like going to go bankrupt, and it all just turned around. So if you are into Reiki, she's not just a Reiki healer, she's a pendulum tool. Check out her description box below. She's just gifted. And in my description box, it's healingwithnancylynn.com. Back to school 20% special until the end of September. It's on now for any reading, any healing with her. I'd love to promote my sister. She's like amazing. Check her out below. And thanks guys for listening. I'll see you in my next videos. Like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications.